Hey, what's happening YouTube? You guys have tuned into Dat Plant Dude, and in today's video we're going to be doing a house plant tour. It's been about 9 months since I've made my last video. One of the last videos I made was about me buying and sprouting some Monstera seeds. And right here, this guy right here and here, that's the baby Monstera. That thing's probably about 9 months old now. I know a lot of people are curious about growing Monstera from seeds. A lot of our other plants have gotten much bigger, much longer. Here you can see this, what is that, heart-shaped philodendron. The rhaphidoras are going crazy. The Monstera Adanza, you see that going all the way up, all the way across, all the way there. This one is growing all the way up to the top of the pole and is starting to come back down. So we really haven't added many new plants since the last video, maybe a couple. But I just kind of wanted to show you guys, we've taken some clones or propagated a couple of the Monsteras. A number of them I've given away as gifts, a couple of them I've sold. If there's anything you guys want to buy, I do sell cuttings and things like that. And one thing I was going to say, I was going to encourage everybody to start using cryptocurrency when you trade plants with each other, when you buy cuttings from people, when you sell cuttings to people. You know, the merchant processing companies, PayPal, Stripe, Cash App, all these things, as of the 1st of January 2022, they're going to start issuing you 1099s for any transactions collectively over the course of the year that come to $600. Previously, it was $20,000 and 200 transactions. Now they're making it $600, which basically means if some 16-year-old kid sells his Xbox and a used phone or a couple pairs of jeans he can't fit into anymore, he's now going to be 1099. So avoid the paperwork headaches and just kind of take a stand and decide to use cryptocurrency and kind of create more local economy. So if anybody sees anything they like and wants to buy a plant, you know, let me know. I say I do accept cryptocurrency for all of my plants. I take pretty much any crypto. And if any of you guys want some help getting started with crypto, I got a couple links I'll put in the description box below. One to Voyager Digital and another to crypto.com. Both of those will give you $25 in free Bitcoin just for signing up. But let's kind of start here. Actually, we got I believe that's a coffee plant over there. That one's not doing too well. This is one of our pride and joys. Look at this thing. My girlfriend's family has a rubber plant that's about this crazy. I mean, it goes over pretty much like their entire living room and kitchen. The thing's got to be like 30 feet long. They've had it for, I don't know, decades and decades and decades. But this is a Monstera Danzai. A lot of people refer to this as the Swiss cheese plant because of, you know, all the holes in the leaves. A lot of people refer to any Monstera. That's my little dog there. A lot of people refer to any Monstera as a Swiss cheese plant because of these holes. But when I think Swiss cheese plant, the plant that I think of is the Monstera Adanza. Now, you know, you can see we got it starting down there. It's in about a 3-gallon pot going all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. This is a 10-foot ceiling, so keep in mind it goes all the way up to the 10-foot ceiling. We got one leaf that forks over. We got a couple other long ones that are going back down. And this runs probably about 4 feet across that wall, and then probably another 6 or 7 feet across this wall. Obviously, it's not getting quite enough sun. You can see kind of the leaves and things are pretty sparse over on this end. This is one I probably should take a cutting of. We've kind of slowed down on bringing new plants into the house, just to kind of give you guys at one point, there was like 114 plants in this little room, and I got a tiny house. This house is, that's one of my favorites there, the ponytail palm. But, you know, this is like a 1,050 square foot house. So this is a lot of plants packed into the living room here. And we've kind of started slowing it down. I'm looking to make a move down to Florida, and it's going to be a nightmare trying to move all these plants. So I'm trying not to add to them until we make the move. But this is a plant I wouldn't mind taking some cuttings off of and selling some cuttings of. So, you know, feel free to drop a comment or shoot me an email at datplantdude@gmail.com if you'd have any interest in that one. This one is one of my favorite plants, Rhaphidoras tetrasperma. Nice, healthy, big plant there. We've had this one for a while. These are pretty easy to care for. These have gotten really popular on social media over the past couple years. Really kind of cool plant, really unique and interesting kind of leaf formation. Fairly easy to take care of. How these differ a little bit from Monsteras. A lot of people consider them Monsteras. They're not Monsteras. But these ones like to be a little bit more moist. So whereas my Monsteras like drying out a little bit between waterings, these ones like staying a little bit more moist, but it is easy to get root rot as well. But that's another one of our favorites there. Here we have, I believe this is a heart-shaped philodendron. You guys can see how... Can you see how long that's gotten? I mean, that one's really big, really full. This one actually started out from a cutting, so it's doing really well. Here's another Monstera Adanza. This one actually climbs all the way up to the top of this, I think it's a 6-foot pole, and then it actually starts running back down as well. I'm going to have to try to take some unique angles here because the sun's coming in. It's, you know, it's wintertime here in Chicago. It's a couple days into January. And these plants are really close to a window. Most of my living room here is window, so I always kind of worry about the cold and humidity levels. We did pick up this humidifier Homedics from Costco. I think it was like 69 bucks. Does a really good job, puts out a lot of humidity, but I don't really have a great place to put it in my house. And it was starting to make the leaves of this elephant ear plant, you know, kind of wilt because it just had moisture blowing at it all day. So I wound up having to, actually I think this is the leaf that kind of wilted from all the mist hitting it all day. So I've got that turned off. Humidity's a little bit low. Humidity's 26%. I'd like to keep it, I don't know, probably like closer to 40%, if not even a little bit higher. We got an elephant ear plant here. Pretty cool. This plant right here, this Monstera, is one of my pride and joys. If I can sneak around here, you guys will be able to see. This is actually a variegated Monstera albo. Unfortunately, it's got very little color. I'll kind of tell you guys the story about this one. That's really the only leaf with any color. Actually, I think you gotta take that back. The other leaf has some color too. Here's the story behind this plant. So I was at a local nursery, and I noticed they had a ton of Monsteras. So I wound up putting 4 in my cart. They were $85 a piece. I get to the checkout. Let me go get my coffee. I get to the checkout, and the lady's like, oh, no, you can't buy these. You got to be on a waiting list, or there's a lottery or something. So wasn't able to buy them that day. Same thing happened with my my Florida Beauties, which you can see there, and we'll look at those in a second. Here we got, can you guys see that Florida Beauty there? So I wound up putting myself in the lottery, wound up getting picked, and I was able to go pick out a plant. Now, they were charging $85. That's a pretty good deal, much cheaper than you'd be able to buy these off, you know, online or Facebook Marketplace or Etsy. And when I went to pick them out, they had some plants that had a lot more coloration to them, but there were very few leaves, or the plants weren't looking that healthy. The plants that had the most leaves or looked the most healthy had the least amount of color. So I had a decision to make. I spent about an hour going back and forth over which one I wanted, because this is like my one shot to get one of these plants. This is the one I picked. I tried to give it a lot of light during the summer, but it just never really filled out that much with color. The leaves we have still have their variegation, but the new growth isn't variegated. So I don't know if I just need more humidity, more light. I did take a cutting off this plant, and this plant's got some beautiful leaves. I like, you know, these styrations or whatever you want to call that. You know, just very prominent. We got the holes in the leaves, which is something I really like with Monsteras. So we got a 2-leaf cutting here, and you know, we got plenty of root growth there. One of my favorite things about Monsteras is how easy they are to propagate or to clone. So this plant actually did come off of a variegated Monstera plant. Obviously, as you guys know, you can't buy variegated Monstera seeds. This is like a genetic defect in a plant. So one of the cool things about buying seeds, very unlikely, but there is a chance that the seeds you're going to buy are going to have that variegation. But yeah, this is one of my prize and joys. I would be willing to sell cuttings from this plant. This one actually came as a cutting right off of here. So technically speaking, even though there isn't variegation here, the genetics of this plant is a variegated Monstera albo. So maybe some new growth out of here will have some white on it, or maybe if we get it in the sun, it will have some white. But we do got this one cut. I give a lot of plants away for gifts to friends and family and things like that. I don't really have any plans for this one, so if anybody wanted this one, I would be willing to part with that one. Let's see, down here we got a Chinese money plant, which is kind of a fun plant. We have a watermelon peperomia. Not sure what that is. I think that might be some type of snake plant. We got a neon pothos in the back there. We had a string of bananas here, although it looks like I forgot to change the water and it kind of dried out. And then a philodendron Brazil, I believe this one is. I'm not sure what this one is. Some of these are my girlfriend's plants, so I'm not really, as familiar with them. Not really sure what that one is. That was one of those desert palms. Wound up drying out. I forget what this one with the pink and green leaves is. That one's not mine either, and I think in the back that's some type of ficus there. So here, tiny pot. This one could probably stand to be repotted. This is a Florida philodendron. You guys can see one thing that's kind of unique about this plant. It gets all this kind of goo all over the leaves, all over the stem. And, it's been a while since I did my research on these. But basically you have Florida, man, what is it? You know what? I have another video that kind of explains this. There's basically, you have Florida ghosts, you have Florida beauties, and then there's like two other types of Floridas. I'm having a brain fart right now, but one of these is going to have kind of a reddish smooth stem. Another one's going to have kind of a fuzzy stem, and then this one's going to have kind of bumps on the stem, which I believe is kind of a hybrid between the two. This plant's done really well. When I got this plant, it was like 1 or 2 leaves. I think it actually snapped at one point. My girlfriend knocked it over, but this one goes all the way up. Oh, it looks like we got a brand new leaf unfurling. Can you guys see? Let's see, where's my hand? We got a brand new leaf unfurling right there. I've never actually taken, oh no, I take that back. I've taken one cutting off my my Florida Beauties, but that would be one I'd be willing to sell as well, just because these ones are getting pretty big. They're kind of starting to outgrow the space I have for them. Let's see, these ones are my girlfriend's for the most part. I think that one in the shot glass is a flapjack plant. You can see against the window there, we got a little propagation station, although it's hard to get back there, so I kind of forgot about those plants and wound up letting the tubes kind of dry up. This is a helicopter plant. I forget the official name. That's another one of my girlfriend's. Philo Brazil. Ooh, that one's not looking too healthy. My girlfriend, honestly, probably takes care of the plants more so than I do, and she's been busy working a lot lately, so some of these plants have been a little bit neglected. So I talked about, let's grab this. I talked about this one. I think this one might be of interest to you guys. So a lot of people are curious about growing Monsteras from seed. So I would just looked at my channel in the last video I made about 9 months ago. I made a video where I bought 10 Monstera seeds off of Etsy and propagated them in these little Jiffy pods. You can kind of see this one needs a little bit more dirt on it. There's a Jiffy pod. I want to say 2 or 3 sprouted, like 1 died off, and only one wound up making it. But this is, basically growing a Monstera from seed. This is about 9 months in. Obviously, the plant could probably use a bigger pot. The leaves aren't that big, so we don't really have any of those cuts in the leaves. We don't really have any of the Swiss cheese holes. But this is a Monstera grown from seed. You can find seeds on Etsy. There are some people selling seeds on Amazon, although most of them are fake seeds, aren't even Monsteras. A lot of people are claiming to be selling variegated Monstera albo seeds, which is impossible. I mean, that's just not how nature works. You can't buy seeds that you know to be variegated. But one of the cool things about buying seeds is you never know. It's like a 1 in a million shot, but there is a chance that you'll wind up getting a plant that's variegated. So we'll put this guy back here. Right here we got a jade plant. Very easy to care for. Very nice. Here, that one could probably stand to be in a bigger pot too. This is my Florida Beauty. I'm sure somebody will probably correct me and tell me this is another type of Florida, but really big Florida. It looks like we got the beginning of a new leaf right there. Not sure what that is, kind of wilting in that hanging pot. Is this like a weeping ficus or something like that? We got another raft here, Raphidodora tetrasperma, going all the way up the pole and coming back down as well. We got another elephant plant here. This one reminds me of, that crazy guy from Simpsons who's like Harry, Sideshow Bob or whatever his name is. That's what this fern always reminds me of. This fern is like out of control. My girlfriend's had this for a long time. But yeah, this one's going nuts, going ham. This fiddly fig was like the healthiest, most robust plant. And this winter, it's been hurting a little bit. We've been having some browning leaves, losing some leaves. You guys can see kind of all the the sparse area on these branches, and even that seems very kind of dried out. We probably need to water that guy. But really big fiddly fig. I mean, I don't know, just under 6 foot, and this has, you know, a good 8 inches over the top of my head. So cool plant there. Let's see, what else do we got here? What is this? This is a... Okay, so I think this is a Philodendron Brazil. You guys can see there, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Maybe one of you guys can tell me what this is. I should know this one. I forget. That's one of my girlfriends. That's like a pencil cactus. Oh, flapjack. So I think I had taken a cutting from the flapjack. I wasn't really sure how to take cuttings from flapjacks, but literally I just cut it off, put it in a shot glass, and it started growing. We got a heart-shaped philodendron cutting, and then I'm not sure what that is. That's a different cutting in there. Another cutting in some moss. What else do we got here? That's my girlfriend's neon pothos. Not sure about that guy. Heart-shaped philodendron. We started taking a lot of cuttings and just propagating a lot of stuff. So I think that's what most of these plants over here are. Here is one of the first monsteras that I've ever had. And this one is just really big. I mean, you can see, like, I think we had to clip the aerial roots, but I mean, you see, like, how full this guy is. And I've taken a bunch of cuttings off of this guy. This is a really nice, really pretty plant. Once I get down to Florida, I want to plant some of these near trees in the backyard. And it's really cool, man. When I was driving around, you know, Tampa, St. Pete area, even Sarasota, looking for houses, it was really amazing. In people's backyards or even front yards, you would see like a Thai constellation growing 30 feet up a tree, just really full. And, you know, it's like when you look on Instagram, it's like, shoot, each one of these leaves would be going for $200-300, and this plant's 30 feet high. It's like this, you could probably, if you were to cut this plant, you know, cut this plant down and sell it on Instagram, you could probably make like 30 grand off the plant. But that's one of the things I would love to do is get some monsteras really exploding in a backyard in Florida. This is one of our oldest plants. This is a ponytail palm. A lot of people call this like the Dr. Seuss plant. Really, really cool plant there. And then into the bedroom, we got an elephant plant. We got another Monstera up here. This is a really pretty Monstera. Really, really big leaves on this guy. So that's kind of a cool one. I forget the name of this. People call this a helicopter plant as well. I'm having a brain fart. We also had one of these that was variegated, although I recently gave it to my parents because we just didn't have room for it. Here is a string of bananas right here. That one's going down pretty low. I think that's what I got the cutting of for the other string of bananas. This guy right here, I'm not even really sure what he or she is. This plant, we took a cutting from my girlfriend's friend's mom. No, I take that back. So this is a, Dracaena colorama. I saw one of these at the botanical garden, and I just wound up having to have one. So saw one in a local store, picked it up. We do have another kind of Florida type plant that was a gift from someone. We got a rubber plant here. We got another Monstera. Yeah, I mean, I don't know where all these Monsteras are coming from. We got another Monstera here. We got another Raph here, Rapidodora tetrasperma. Oh, here's the other Florida that I was trying to think about. But yeah, we're 18 minutes in. My phone memory is going to run out at 20 minutes. Apologize, the house is kind of a mess. But that's kind of an update 9 months later. I thought probably the thing that might interest you guys the most was the Monstera grown from seed here. But again, if you see anything that you like, I am open to selling things. I wouldn't mind getting rid of, you know, I got like multiples of a lot of these plants. So I wouldn't mind getting rid of some of these to kind of further grow the collection. So if you guys are interested in buying any plants or any cuttings, I am open to selling them. Like I said, just drop a comment or shoot me an email at datplantdude@gmail.com. If you guys have any questions about any of these plants, let me know. But otherwise, I'll try to be a little bit more active here in the near future, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.